Patrick Greenland, and today we're going to talk about protein and fiber bars. You can see I'm trying something a little new. Looks like we're here in a grocery store, but we're not. I like playing around with stuff on the computer, trying green screen things and all that, so you know, it might work. We'll see. Anyways, let's get into the protein and fiber bars. These are bars that are often marketed as being super healthy. They typically have a lot of fiber or a lot of protein. Some of them have a lot of both. And there are some bars out there that are pretty decent. It takes a bit of looking to find some really good ones. And I don't actually happen to have any of those that I consider really super good. The ones that I'm going to show you today are all okay to bad. But I'm choosing to use these, one, because these are the ones I have in the house, which doesn't say much about my choices. Some of these I got because of coupons and things like that and decided to just try them out. But another reason why I'm using these is because I want to show where a lot of these fall short. And these are not necessarily ones that you would think are unhealthy. In fact, a lot of these have made a name for themselves as being healthy. And some are healthy, some are only marginally so. And some are not at all. So let's go ahead and get into these and see what we can find about them. We'll start with a nut bar. This is the Costco brand nut bar, similar to like a Kind bar, or there's a lot of other brand name ones that are like this. But anyways, this one is made of almonds, cashews, and pecans. It has extra chicory root inulin, which is a type of fiber. It'll be listed on other things as chicory root extract or chicory root fiber. It's actually a fairly healthy thing, and it does increase the fiber quite a bit. For this one, you've actually got 8 grams of fiber in it, but the bar itself is 200 calories, and you can see it's a pretty small bar. It's kind of filling, not super filling. It does have high fat because of all the peanuts in it. Well, not peanuts, nuts. Almonds, cashews, and pecans. And so it's got 15 grams of fat in there. They're somewhat healthier fats for the most part, but it's still fat. And so it'll still have high calories. This one actually is, besides the high calories, it is one of the better ones as far as actually having good amounts of fiber and protein. The protein on this is 5 grams. So definitely not a protein bar per se, but it has a decent amount of protein. This is one of those that is a good snack because it actually does taste really good, but you definitely want to limit it. Probably no more than one a day. If you're eating multiples of these a day, there's probably something going on. You're not going to be losing weight, or you're going to be missing out on other nutrients that you need just because of the high amount of calories in this. You're going to be full probably before you can get all the other nutrients you need from other foods. So that's that one. Let's take a look at another popular one. We've got a Clif Bar. This one happens to be the white chocolate macadamia nut flavor, but they're all very similar. They have slightly different ingredients just to change the flavor up a bit, or different nuts in them, but they're all very similar nutritionally speaking. So these are also some of the higher calorie ones, 260 calories in one of these bars. And these at least don't have anything processed really in them, at least not what you would normally consider processed. They do have a lot of organic stuff and all that, which organic, sometimes good, sometimes not so good. The jury's out on whether it really makes a difference. But this does have 7 grams of fat, so not anywhere near as bad as the Kirkland Signature bar, the Costco brand bar, just because it doesn't have all the nuts in it. This one does have some macadamias, but they're really, even though the flavor says macadamia nut, the amount of macadamias is actually pretty low. It's mostly the other stuff. One thing to watch out with these, though, these Clif Bars are very high in sugar. Pretty much all types. I'm not sure about the Clif Builder bars. I haven't really checked those out yet. They're a different type of Clif Bar, but all the normal Clif Bars, regardless of the flavor, they're all very high in sugar. In fact, the very first ingredient is organic brown rice syrup, which is just another name for a type of sugar. Anything that says syrup is going to be a type of sugar. And then you've got a couple more ingredients, and then you've got organic cane syrup, which is once again a sugar. And then a few more ingredients after that, and you've got organic cane sugar, which is definitely a sugar. And so multiple things here are sugars. You've got 20 grams of added sugars. That's almost half the added sugars that is the recommended maximum for the day. So you definitely do not want to be eating these, all the time. This is another one like the Costco bar there, the Nut Bar, that you don't want to have more than maybe say one a day. It just too many calories. It tastes really good. I love this flavor. So does my wife and my kids. Pretty much everybody loves this flavor, but they are just not the best if you're trying to lose weight. If we look at this is a slightly better version, not because it's a different flavor, chocolate brownie, even though that's also very good, but because it's smaller. You can see here, size difference. Still has the same issues, still high in calories and everything, but they've made this small one into a 100-calorie size, which means it's a little less than half the size of the other one. So if you really do like Clif Bars, and honestly, they are pretty good. A lot of them are. Not all the flavors, but a lot of them are pretty good. So if you like them, this is probably the better option to pick up, just because it'll help you to limit your calories. Instead of eating the whole 260 calories in the big bar, this one gives you 100 calories. So this is more like a snack. Totally fine for a snack. Definitely not something you want to eat a bunch of, but for a snack, like an afternoon snack to give you just a little bit more energy, it actually works pretty well. And these things do have an okay amount of protein and fiber. Even in this small one, you've got 4 grams of protein and 2 grams of fiber. The big one, it actually has 4 grams of fiber and 9 grams of protein. So a decent amount of protein and fiber, which is what we're looking for in these bars, but just way too much sugar and quite a bit of fat. Not a ton, not like the Nut Bar, but still. Okay, so what's next? Oh, this is just your typical granola bar. You find these everywhere. They're not really sold as a health food or anything like that. This one is even fudge dipped, so it tastes great, but it's terrible for you. 160 calories in this tiny bar. It has, what does it have? 10 grams of added sugar, 2 grams of protein, and fiber is 1 gram. So definitely not what you want. This is more like a treat, like a dessert type of thing. If you've got a craving for it specifically, go for it. Otherwise, not really worth your time. These are something that I found just this past week. They actually had a coupon for these on the Ibotta app. Ibotta is pretty cool. I actually get a lot of stuff through there. So I'll probably do something about that app. In the future sometime. I'll probably put something on here because I do get a lot of healthy food that way, though there's a lot of unhealthy food also. These actually taste really good. They're basically kind of like a tiny oatmeal cookie, but not as sweet, with more oats and less sugar. That being said, they still have a decent amount of sugar in them. 9 grams of sugar in this thing. They do have only 2 grams of protein and 2 grams of fiber. They're very small though, and so they're easy to eat, but they do have 140 calories. They're similar as far as health-wise, like protein and fiber, to this normal thing here, but they have slightly less sugar, more whole grains, more natural stuff. It's not processed ingredients, so slightly healthier. They actually taste better, I think, than those granola bars. So, you know, another one that's probably better as a snack, not really as trying to get a health food or anything like that. But still, not terrible. I mean, they taste great. Okay, here we've got a Think bar, and these are marketed as a high protein bar. They don't really market them as fiber. They do have 1 gram of fiber in them, which is negligible. But the one thing they do have is 20 grams of protein. That's huge. 20 grams of protein is a ton. So if you're going for protein, these aren't bad. These will get you a lot of protein. You have to consider, though, that they do have 230 calories in 1 bar. So this is more like not quite a meal replacement bar, because a meal will typically run you maybe double or even triple that, depending on where you're at in your weight loss. But it definitely will make up a good portion of your meal, and it's more than just a snack typically, unless maybe you want this after after a workout or something like that. That could help. One thing to worry about with this is that even though it has no sugar, it has 11 grams of sugar alcohol. Sugar alcohols don't typically contribute to calories just because of the way the body processes them. They can contribute a little bit depending on the specific sugar alcohol. This one has maltitol syrup. Maltitol syrup is probably one of the worst sugar alcohols. It says here no artificial sweeteners. I don't know if you can see that really well. There we go. No artificial sweeteners. Technically, it's made out of corn syrup, which I guess is not artificial since it's corn, but it's processed. It's highly processed. So even though it's not artificial, it is highly processed, and it can cause some major issues with digestion. People that have too much maltitol syrup tend to have diarrhea, stomach aches, things like that, gas. These are those things that, like I said, probably maybe have this after a workout or something, just to up your protein, rebuild muscle, things like that. Probably not a good idea to have these regularly, though, because you'll have stomach issues. They taste okay. They do taste pretty sweet, though. It depends on the flavor. The brownie ones are not as sweet as some others, but some of the other ones, especially the lemon flavored one, lemon dream bar or something like that, I can't remember what it's called, but that one is extremely sweet. It's sickeningly sweet. Is that a word? Anyways, it basically made me feel sick to my stomach just eating it because it was so sweet. So even though it doesn't have sugar, those sugar alcohols have just as much sweetness as the sugar usually, or at least close to it. Some of them are even a little more, and it's just way too much. So as far as flavor goes, Think bars, I'm not a huge fan. Some flavors are okay. The brownie's probably the best one I've tried. But yeah, something only if you really need a lot of protein, have one, and that's it. Okay, here's Kind. I mentioned Kind bars earlier. This isn't your typical Kind bar. This is a Kind Healthy Grains Chewy with a Crunch type of thing. So it doesn't have all the nuts that you would find. It has more of the grains, like some quinoa and other stuff in it. It also is lower in sugar, only 5 grams of sugar. So, that's good. But it also has 150 calories in this small bar, so it's similar to just a regular granola bar pretty much. 5 grams of fat, so not super low in fat, not super high either though. It does have 2 grams of fiber and 3 grams of protein, so not a lot, but an okay amount. So I'd say this one is kind of okay. I wouldn't call it healthy really. I'd say it's a snack that's definitely better than a candy bar, like a Snickers or something. Definitely better than that. But it's, it is what it is. It's not. None of the Kind of stuff is super healthy as far as as far as protein and fiber and fat and all that. When you take it all into consideration, none of the Kind bars, any of their versions, are all that healthy. They are natural, they're not really processed, so that helps. But it's still not the greatest. So this is something, slip it into your pocket or a purse or whatever, and use it as a snack. 150 calories is a decent snack amount, of calories. So not too bad for this. You can have that for that. All right, here's this Nature's Bakery Fig Bar. They have different flavors of this too. These taste really good. I really love the taste of these. They're 200 calories. They have 2 little bars in here, kind of like a Fig Newton, except they say that they're less processed and all that. And they are quite a bit less processed. They have a higher amount of sugar in them. 19 grams of sugar in one package. They do have 3 grams of fiber and 3 grams of protein, so they're okay on that. Not amazing, but okay. But with the 200 calories and the 19 grams of sugar, these are those that probably shouldn't have them very often. A little bit higher than a snack typically, maybe a single one. So if you open it up and just eat one of the 2 bars in there, then that's only 100 calories and only about 10 grams of sugar. Still high, but not terrible. So not a terrible snack. I wouldn't consider it a healthy food though. It's not processed or anything like that, pretty much, but it's still more of a snack or dessert type thing. And the last thing we've got here is a couple entries from the Fiber One. With a name like Fiber One, you definitely know that it's going to have fiber. With the brownie, the one thing with the brownie is it is super sweet. I don't even know how to explain how sweet this thing is. It's sweeter than the Think bars. You bite into it and it's like you're biting into pure sugar, even though it doesn't have sugar. It's got erythritol or something like that. Yeah, erythritol. And erythritol is one of those sugar alcohols again. The erythritol is a little bit healthier than the maltitol syrup. It doesn't seem to have all the digestive issues and stuff that the maltitol syrup does. And it's not nearly as processed either. So that's a good thing. We do need to be careful though that it's only 70 calories, so that's good. But it does have some palm kernel and palm oils, which are ones we want to kind of stay away from. It does have 6 grams of fiber, which is good for only 70 calories. That's really good. Protein's only 2 grams. They're not really made to have protein. And so this is an okay one. This is one that you'd slip into your bag and have as a snack, if you can get past the insane sweetness. Some people like that sweetness, so maybe this is for you, but for me, just way too sweet. This one, on the other hand, this one is not too sweet. This one actually tastes more like a regular granola bar, and it also has 12 grams of fiber. As far as the protein goes, it is 4 grams. So pretty decent actually, and for 120 calories, this is actually one that I would recommend. This is probably the healthiest out of all of them that I went over today, just because it has so much fiber, an okay amount of protein. It does have a little bit of sugar, just 2 grams. It does have a little bit of that erythritol. This also has the chicory root extract that I mentioned at the beginning of this video. That chicory root extract is really good for making things feel like they're I guess have more fat than they do, because it gives that creaminess to it, but it's actually gives a lot of fiber to it too. So it's really nice. The only thing you have to watch out for with chicory root extract is that too much of it can possibly be dangerous for pregnant women. It's possible it can cause a miscarriage. You'd have to have a lot of it, so having just a single one of these or even 2 or 3 of these in a day won't cause any problems. But if you're constantly eating these, then it could possibly cause some issues. Other than that, it's pretty safe. It's good for you for the most part, and it's safe. So this is the one I would recommend out of all of them that we've gone over today. Like I said at the beginning of the video, there are others that I don't have with me right now that are also good, and so I'll probably do another video coming up here that will I'll get some of those other bars and review those. But for now, this is the one I recommend. It tastes good. It has a lot of fiber, an okay amount of protein, lower calorie, and so definitely go with this one if you're going to go with any bars. That being said, all these bars are basically replacements for real food. And so they're nice because you can just grab them and eat them really quick. Take them with you to work or whatever. They're easy to stick in a pocket or a purse or a bag. And so that's a nice thing about them. But they don't have much in the way of other nutrients. For example, vitamins and minerals, they all have a little bit of them, but not a whole lot. You're better off getting your fiber and everything from vegetables and grains because they'll have naturally those other vitamins and minerals. And so, if at all possible, avoid these bars and just eat, the natural foods, fruits and vegetables and whole grains and things like that. And for protein, lean meats are really good. A lot of the grains, the complex whole grains, those also have quite a bit of protein. Soybeans, things like that have a lot of protein. And so you can get all that you need from just natural foods. So try and eat those more, but if you're running out the door and you need something to tide you over until you get back, grab one of these healthier bars, especially that Fiber One Oats and Chocolate Bar is, I guess, the name of that one. So let me know what you thought about these bars down below. And if you have another one that's your favorite, let me know about that. I'll try and grab it and put it into a video in the future. So if you have any questions, go ahead and leave those down below too. And thank you for watching. You have a great day.